10 Creepy Seclusion Stories, according to Reddit. Number 10. The organ blower intake in the church steeple. Every week, the sexton removes about a dozen bats who get sucked into the organ blower intake filter. People say that there are bats in the belfry. No matter how creepy, it's true. They live there and fly around at night in the empty church, where I'm often alone practicing in seclusion. Just the organ, bats, and myself.
Well, he doesn't have to be there.
Well, when else is he gonna practice? The reply reads, "This happens when you're all alone, playing with your organ. Oh, I see what he did there. What a funny guy. You go blind as a bat." Jesus Christ. Number 9. I was living in a thatched cottage in the English countryside. A long way away from anything. It was a distinctly eerie place. One night I was sitting at the big oak table in the middle of the room, writing. By my pad there was a largest landline telephone. I noticed movement in the corner of my eye and turned to see the telephone moving slowly across the table of its own accord. It moved a few inches and then stopped. I stared at it for a while, then it started again, slowly moving away from me, then stopped. I was getting distinctly spooked. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I sat there watching the damn thing move a few inches, then stop, as though thinking about it, then start moving again. Finally, I rose carefully and backed away from the table. When I got far enough away so I could see under the table, I could see what was happening. A large yellow toad was trying to climb up the wire leading to the phone. However, when it got a few inches off the ground, the weight of the toad was pulling the phone across the table, and the toad slid back down to the bottom.
Oh, that's a cute story. Little toad.
Kind of adorable ending to what started out as a spooky story.
He couldn't do it, Kyle. He just needed some help.
The frog. It's about the frog now. Number 8. What?
It's a toad, Kyle.
Oh, my bad. Number 8. Fucking furries. I hike very frequently and was on a trail about 8 miles from the nearest gravel road. It was just me and my dog. Just a note, I have hiked these trails frequently and only ever seen other people during mushroom hunting season, and only near where the park patches are, and this was in January, freezing cold, no mushrooms. I've been going at it for almost 2 hours when I stumbled on a pile of bones. Large bones, bigger than human, maybe a cow, maybe buffalo, maybe horse. They were completely clean and sun-bleached, no flesh, no fur. I find deer remains all the time, and always have fur on the legs. This means someone or something cleaned them, or they're old bones. The scary part is they were neatly arranged into a pyramid shape and leaning on each other like a teepee. It was just on the trail the week before. I was just on the trail the week before, and there had been no bones. There had also been a giant dead animal, and there wouldn't have been any rotting happening because it was 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I stared at them for a while, then turned around on the spot and spot more peculiarities. The tree behind me had several bones strung up and hung in the tree by the trail marks. They swayed in the wind and kinda clunked gently like a morbid wind chime. So this means it had to have been somebody and not some weird raccoons or something. They gotta be weird raccoons. I started to panic what?
Raccoons have thumbs, but why would they?
You're saying that because raccoons have opposable thumbs that they could do all manner of things like this, zany hijinks for the sake of pissing off humans, but why? Stripes? Are you saying like they could, but why would they do that?
Start of the uprising. You don't know.
Man, you went digital as hell just now. I start to panic because does this mean somebody is watching me? Am I being warned or stalked? I always go on a select few trail, and this is one of my most frequented, and never have I seen someone else out so far. The hairs on my neck stand up, and I'm sure I am in the crosshairs of a serial killer who has been stalking me. I walk with headphones in and could have followed me for weeks and I wouldn't have known. My dog freezes and points toward a different large tree 10 yards away. The hair of her scruff raises and she starts to growl and creep towards the tree. I'm panicking. I have nothing other than my hiking stick. My dog barks once, she's 40 pounds by the way, not an attack dog, and starts sprinting towards the tree. I instinctively crouch down. She reaches the tree and a turkey takes off from the other side, gobbling as it flies away. I can still feel my pulse in my ears as I watch it fly away. I sigh, pet my dog, and check to make sure I didn't shit myself. I snap a few pictures of the weird bone shit and make my way back. Still hike through there, bones still there, untouched. I'm not messing with that voodoo. No idea where they came from, probably some old coot trying to scare people. It worked on me. Too long didn't read, scary pile of bones and free bones in the middle of nowhere. With her husband used his okay, look, bones. What?
I'm glad you watched Lord of the Rings.
It's just a pyramid of bones. Yep. Totally creepy if you ask me.
I mean, there's no mystery behind it. It's just someone trying to scare kids away from their tree.
Someone says I have hiking trail. What?
What if they're hiding something inside the tree? Or what if there's just a bunch of money in there?
Just shut up, Stripes. What if there's a bunch of money in a tree with a bone sticking out of it? Like, why would someone who hid something, like, mark it so obviously? What is this, a movie? Like, I have hiking trails right near my house that lead to fire trails that are off limits. My wife and I decided to hike on one of the off limits roads and we noticed some strange dream catcher type objects strung up in the trees and set up in the path that looked just like something out of True Detective season 1. Have you seen that show, Stripes? Because I haven't. So I guess we just don't know what this guy talking about, you know, like how dare he make himself so how fine this asshole. Let's check this guy's fucking user history out. Let's see what he's all about. Let's look at the top shit. Come on now. His top post is an Ask Reddit post. This is what this guy's on deck to answer everybody's questions all day. Redditors who spend a lot of time in seclusion. This is his top post. Oh my god.
Well, there you go.
Oh my god. What did I do with my logo? Okay, here we go. Wait, no. That's another comment in this thread. What? So
He piggybacked off someone and he already had one that was going.
he didn't. I wouldn't call it piggybacking. It's just weird that the same guy that I just happened to click on was a guy who commented and had a top level comment in this none of this matters. Number 7. I would not say totally in seclusion since I live with my family, but our house is in the middle of nowhere with her husband Eustace, surrounded by woods. During hot summer nights, we sleep with the windows open, just the bug screen between us and the great outdoors. Deer and elk sometimes bed down right outside the bedroom window, because predators will not come that close to the house. We are used to hearing elk snores, yes they do snore, and deer wheezes in the middle of the night. This one dark summer night though, we were woken up by something that sounded like a gibbering, demented child. It paced around the house and we could hear the dry grass crunching right outside the window. The thing moved on after a while, but the weird semi-human noises it made were unsettling to say the least. We found out later that it was a porcupine. Look up porcupine sounds on YouTube.
Can we do that?
Everybody says they sound adorable. Not so adorable in the middle of the night when you have no idea what's making that noise. Yeah, there's like this porcupine video. Like the porcupine. Did it have a banana or something? Pornhub.
Excuse me?
What?
Is it on Pornhub? This is where I need to find my porcupine screaming.
Shut up. Porcupine eating Reddit. See if I can find the post that I saw the other day. Some asshole's like, today I learned porcupines make noise and it's absolutely adorable. Oh yeah, I was eating some corn. So here's here's the creepiest video you're ever gonna see. It's a porcupine eating corn. Listen to the noises he makes.
This is Teddy, one of our North American in his corn on it. You won't share?
It kind of sounds like him going. Aren't you glad that you got that Kyle impression?
Well, yes, I can hear it myself yet.
Jesus Christ. Number 6. I used to live deep in the Santa Cruz Mountains and often hiked and camped there growing up. As a teenager, I went on a secluded trail, and as I often would, I'd take a nap on a sleeping bag I'd bring and take off my shoes and dip my feet in a creek. Why not just make the whole thing one long-ass sentence? One day I woke up and my shoes were gone, and in their place was a pile of rocks. I still cannot explain that one, and it still freaks me out. I moved back when I was 25 and rented a small cottage on a very large property far up the mountains of the Bonnie Doon. It was really rural and secluded and pitch black at night. I'd often hear screams of coyotes in the distance. We had some cats on a property that were friendly, and one had a litter of kittens. They were really cute, and I would take them in and feed them. There was a point where I was all alone on the property, and one morning I came out and one of the kittens was laid across my doorstep, dead. No trauma, no sign of anything wrong with it. It wasn't even cold enough for them to freeze. This little kitten I had played with the day before was dead. This happened for a week until the kittens were all dead and laid somewhere near my door in the morning. I was terrified. Soon after, things started disappearing from my cottage. I ended up leaving pretty quickly. I never felt a sense of ease in those woods. They scared me my whole life, and I don't know why. One last creepy Bonnie Doon story. I was driving down to town, a good 20-plus minute drive. Around 4 in the morning, and out of nowhere, a mountain lion that was bigger than a grown man leapt from the mountain onto the road as I was driving, and it was the biggest cat I've ever seen in my life. And of course, I hit it, and it splayed out, and my car at the time had some issues and was known for stalking out. There I am, looking right at a pissed off, scared lion, unable to get my car to start back up in the pitch black on an empty mountain road in the middle of the woods. I had to call the authorities, but somehow the mountain lion slinked off into the woods and my car decided to start. The sheer panic, though, was insane. This is probably the most down-to-earth story we're gonna get in this whole fucking thread. Everybody else is on that gingerbread G. Willikers homosexual. Not that there's anything wrong with homosexuals. Frimmy frosh. You know what I'm talking about? That's a new phrase.
Where do I put it next to, Kyle?
Frimmy frosh. That's pretty good. Frimmy frosh.
There's pictures.
If you're watching this video and you're somehow upset about something, let me know what you're upset about, and then use Frimmy frosh in a sentence, you know? Frimmy frosh, guys. Why is no one talking about the dead cats being laid on the doorstep and only the shoes? They were really nice shoes. Let's move on, guys. Number 5. This happened to my cousin while camping in Maine. He decided to settle into his tent for the night, and he was woken up at around 2 a.m. by footsteps just outside the tent. Whoever it was paced out there for at least an hour. My cousin just waited until they left, and left immediately. He doesn't camp alone anymore. An extra person isn't gonna save you from fucking demented weirdos out in the fucking wilderness. This happened to a group of friends and we were camping on an island and heard footsteps for hours. And the next morning, we found a fuckload of footprints. About 3 years later, another group of friends admitted they paddle boated out there to fuck with us. Oh, please. Okay, a suitcase in the middle of the woods, no one close by. Oh, of course I had to open it. It was literally filled with shit. Well.
Okay.
Where do I put this stuff, you know? Shit. Filled suitcase.
I mean,
It sounds like a Metalocalypse song.
It's a very concise story. You could just...
Number 3. This happened to me, what?
Is that going to be the thumbnail?
How am I gonna, you want me to Photoshop an open suitcase with shit inside of it?
No, just a suitcase. Anonymous.
So people can paint the allegory between the thumbnail and this video.
That's what you do anyway.
How dare you? Okay?
It's an ominous looking suitcase. That's all I'm asking for.
An ominous looking suitcase. You want me to put eyes on it and like one of the eyebrows raised up like, you know? Or better yet, have the thumbnail be the first GIF thumbnail on YouTube, and then it'll have like shifty eyes like that dog that Homer describes, and then everybody will know that suitcase is a bad guy. This happened to me about 15 to 16 years ago and scared the shit out of me. Right into a suitcase. I spent 12 weeks alone in northwestern Utah. It was pretty empty. Anyhow, sometime around 3 a.m. in the morning, I was suddenly awoken by a very strange sound. It lasted about 10 seconds, and it came from maybe 30 feet away. I've been camping a shit ton and have never ever heard anything like that. It was an animal sound that was a long, low moan that had a decidedly aggressive tint to it. I sat bolt upright instantly and thought, that is not a cow, not a horse, not a deer, but maybe a cow? Cow and chicken. I had no weapons except a massive MacLeod, and before I knew it, I was sprinting barefoot in my underwear for the unlocked truck that was, who knows, 50 to 100 feet away. I got in and rolled a window partly down and looked back in the direction of the sound and my tent. Nothing. After waiting an hour, still nothing. I can't remember if there was a moon that night. Luckily, there was a big scratchy wool sweater in the truck to put on. I never heard it again. I wish I had looked for footprints. Maybe 15 years passed, and I searched first the sound on YouTube. I was suspicious that it was a mountain lion. Yep, a fucking mountain lion. Running from a predator is a bad idea. I still get chills thinking about it. Here's a link to a similar sound. Sounds pretty scary.
I think the worst is an elk screaming for me, personally. Sounds like someone's dying.
The cat growl is very similar to a human moan or groan. It's like the noise that we associate with like zombies.
I could see that. I can't hear it right now again. But thank you for the demonstration. I appreciate it.
The demonstration. And now I will demonstrate a noise a cat makes and its similarities to what we have accepted in pop culture as a zombie noise. Take 1.
Thank you.
What? When my wife and I were still dating, this is by the guy that we were about to harass. This is his big break. This is his biggest comment. This is his top comment, okay? When my wife and I were still dating, we took a road trip to the Hoh Rainforest in Olympic National Park in Washington State. Ooh, I'm gonna take a girl to a Hoh place. We got there late, and in the day, as the sun was setting and we were turned back because the campground was full. Since we didn't want to drive forever just to sleep in a motel, we drove back down the entrance road for a bit until we found a fire road and took that into the forest just outside the campgrounds. We drove down it for a few minutes until we came to a small clearing in the forest and set up camp illegally, I'm sure, in retrospect. And if you've never been there before, it looks like this. Oh, yeah, white people, the outdoors, we get it. Anyway, about a half hour later, another car did the same thing and pulled into our clearing, but since we were already camped there, they moved further down the road. This happened a couple more times during the night, and people either moved farther down the road and turned around to leave. About 3 in the morning, I hear my wife scratching on the tent wall just above our heads, and I figure she's just trying to close the screen or something, and I go back to sleep. A little while later, I hear her doing it again, so I look over at her, and her arms are in her sleeping bag. In the most pitch black lighting, I can see that her eyes are wide opening, and she's listening to the scratching noises coming from outside. Very quietly, I roll over and lift my head up so I can hear the sound with both ears. I'm thinking it's a branch or something scraping the side of the tent, but we're in the middle of the small clearing with no trees, bushes, etc. Right by our tent, I hear it again, coming from right in front of my face, and all my hairs stand up on the back of my neck. It's definitely scratching coming from outside the tent, and the scratching noise is spread out over a typical adult hand span on the back of the tent, like someone was scratching with all their fingernails. I say loudly something like, "I hear you out there, I'm armed," and the noise goes quiet, but I don't hear anyone or anything move away from the tent. Gathering my courage, I open the window flap zipper and shine my flashlight out into the gloom. Nothing is there. I look in front of the tent and stick my head out the door and look around. Nothing. So after a few more minutes, we are able to start falling back asleep, only to hear the scratching again right by our heads. I quickly unzip the zipper window flap again and shoot my flashlight out. Nothing, except I hear the scratching again from just below the window, like someone is laying down right next to the back of the tent. So I shine my flashlight down and see the largest spider I've ever seen trying to climb the slippery slope walls of the tent. Its legs are spread out farther than I can spread my fingers, so I just smack the back of the tent with the flashlight. The spider goes flying off to the night, and my girlfriend and I have a good laugh about it. I hear you out there, I'm armed. No thanks, I have 8 legs already. This guy. Spiders are armless, as my dad always used to say. What the hell? Whose dad would say spiders are harmless, boy?
Wasn't a Wendigo.
Didn't I tell you them spiders have no arms? Goddamn boy. That boy ain't right. Hey, look, it's the number one. And it's gonna take a part of my soul to read it all. I bet you didn't see that spider end to that story coming.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be a bear. Wanted it to be a bear.
You wanted it to be a bear? Here's the story. To preface this, I want to say last year I spent about 32 days in the woods either scouting, hunting, or fishing. The year before that, I spent about 22 days. This doesn't include my regular hunts and camping adventures, which in the past 3 years add up to just over 100 days. I've been hunting since I was 9 and have spent a lot of time outdoors in various different parts of the US and in Canada. I've seen, heard a lot of strange shit, but this one takes the cake. Well, is this some kind of like creepy douche fucking story writer who writes crap on Let's Not Meet and, you know, No Sleep Dude Just tell me the truth here. Okay. That's his most popular post. Let's not meet. How did I know that? How did I know that, Stripes? How did I know that in this guy's history, I'd find some bullshit entry to a subreddit like Let's Not Meet? It was either that or no sleep, bro. What a faggot.
In your fur.
What a fucking baby, like, pumpkin eating freaking. Look at this motherfucker. Look at this lion ass piece of. Yeah, I'm losing weight thanks to keto, and I also play Pokemon Go. Play Pokemon Go so hard.
You think he's thirsty?
Oh my god! Somebody carved a Team Instinct into somebody's car.
Why? That's so rude.
Somebody says, I'm on your team, asshole.
Weren't we supposed to be reading a story or something?
Shut up. I guess we could technically read this douchebag story. The fact that I called it, though, means that I should get some sort of reward. You know, like a whole bunch of Cool Ranch Doritos mailed to my house or something. People know where the wish list is. I'm kidding. Let's get into this freaking Porcupine. You know the amount of dumbass, like, windows I have open because of this video. Okay, I was in Cohuta for 7 days scouting for bears, wild hogs, and deer, prepping for a hunting trip later that year. I had hiked in about 10 miles, and then went off the trail 3 to 5 miles, basically. I was out in the middle of nowhere. Since I was alone, I was using a hammock that was built in a bug net, and I had rain fly over it. I spent about 3 days halfway up the mountain. Fucking kill me, Stripes. Look at this fluffy, stupid bullshit. People don't write like this. I could tell immediately that this was all freaking fabricated, dude. You want to know what the last one was like? Yo, nigga, I was walking in the woods and I saw a suitcase full of shit. You know what I mean? Me and my girlfriend was sleeping and we heard the scratching and that shit was creepy as hell. And then when we heard it again and we looked out and it was actually a spider. You know what I mean? This is how people normally freaking speak. This is not your novel. This is not an epic. And normally I would give people the benefit of the doubt, but make it believable, dude. Jesus Christ. As night came, no one showed. I started a fire in the hopes that the person would be able to find where they set up and have some light. Fires burn really bright. Oh, word? And are very easy to see from far away. Really? A light in darkness? You know, I'm just gonna have to take this guy's word for it, Stripes. After eating, I bet he probably didn't feel as hungry. Why didn't he write about that? Why didn't he write after eating I didn't feel as hungry? Stupid. Searching and hoping that the person was going to make it back, I called it a night. I had a small flask with me and I took a couple of sips of whiskey. You know what I mean? Probably I should have took some freaking alcohol before I read this horse shit, jumped into my hammock with my pistol, and attempted to go to sleep. Like, is this going to become like an action movie?
I really hope so.
Since then, I haven't gone out there without any friends. People believe this shit.
That was a pretty shitty
Somebody
story.
said this was right for I need about tree fitty.
It's no shitting in the briefcase.
This is really well written and super creepy. Look, you know what? The reason that Let's Not Meet and other horseshit subreddits like that exist is because people eat that kind of garbage up. But I'm not one of these niggas. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with a well-written story.
As long as it's presented as a story.
As long as it's executed and is not, I want to say deceptive about what it is. You know? At least when people submit shit to Let's Not Meet, you know they're up their own ass. And they're on that bullshit.
Right.
Let's look at the top thing on Let's Not Meet right now. Anyone know how to get out of a lease? In before I'm a woman in her early 20s. What? So creepy guy who's been stalking me probably broke into my apartment, likely now has all of my personal information, and allegedly kidnapped a woman. Let's not meet again. Okay. Alright, yeah. It's pretty believable, you know. Look, man, it wouldn't be on Let's Not Meet if it were real. That's the bottom line. You know what I mean? Unless the person who is submitting it is like a teenager. And it's just like, here's the best place to do this. So somebody broke into my house and took all my personal information. Better go to Let's Not Meet. That's how I'll get like the attention that I need for this crime. It's been committed.
So just to find out what the fuck this gray top is. What? How do I get more of these? What are they?
What?
The gray top I really love, and I only have one because I don't know what the fuck it is.
Oh, you need to just search based on like the type of top it is. So it's like a shoulderless
I think they're called
top.
cool.
So if we look for it looks pretty much exactly like this. Are you looking at the screen?
No, I'm not.
It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Not exactly though. More like this, right?
Yes, it's more like that.
No. If only. Where the hell do you shop for clothes, though? See, I don't know women. And the thing is, like, the one shirt that you have, surely it's got to have, like, some kind of tag on it, right?
No.
It has no tag on it? It has no, like, thing written, probably washed off or something? Son of a bitch. You already know I'm the wrong... What?
Aren't we still recording?
Oh god, look man, let's wrap this video up. Somebody's gonna want to kick my ass, but the bottom line was, I mean, find me some creepy shit. It's your fault. It's not your fault. Find me some creepy shit to read, I'll read it. Outside of that, what's the next list that we should... Oh god, I closed something by accident. The next one we should do, hey, this one looks cool. 20, yeah, we'll do 20, and then it'll be like the craziest self-diagnosis. Yeah. Look, I feel like somebody's gonna try and give me crap for not reading that last one, and you know, if someone brought you a briefcase full of shit and told you that it was gold, you know what I mean, would you go have it checked to see if it was gold and just accept it? You know what I mean?
I saw the gold ones, man.
Oh my god. Before I give, you know, Stripes a platform to be a psychopath, let's end this video, guys. I apologize. If you've seen the shoulderless tops that Stripes is looking for, please leave a comment in the description.